What's up? I'm Ed and he's Michael. We're Conquer and Hold, a weekly Riftbound podcast that talks about all the happenings in Riftbound. We also stream every 6:30 at the People's Card Shop. We do live commentary at our Nexus nights. Michael, what's today's episode about?
Today on Conquer and Hold, we're going to talk about the top 10s in Spiritforged, top 10 gears, top 10 units, and top 10 spells. Everyone has been doing color reviews, but we want to look at everything together and think about what is just the best of the best. Let's start off with spells. At our number 10 slot, we have Wages of Pain. It's just a 3 mana card that deals 3 damage to a unit at a battlefield, and you get a gold gear. So in the mid game, you get to, go 1 for 1, but you get a gold gear in order to make your late game plays not deramp you. It's also a hidden, so if you really, really need to, you can tempo it out for that power cost. Very versatile, and basically a lot of blue decks are just playing this right now.
And then we have Piercing Light, a 2 energy, 1 power. It deals 2 unit to a battlefield, then deals 2 up to another unit. I'm a big fan of this card in decks where you just need early game removal or you need just spot removal here and there. It's very strong as just like a tech card being able to deal split up damage. And having repeat being able to deal more, it's a good mana sink. So I'm a big fan of it.
Every deck gets the Kaisa signature now.
Yep.
At spot number 8, Not So Fast. Reaction, you can counter an enemy spell or ability that chooses a friendly gear. This is so crazy because there's not a lot of things that are able to activate or interact with your opponent's abilities like this card. So any card that is a creature is fairly safe, but now, Not So Fast. You gotta think about it because the green has a reaction to it.
This is one of my favorite spells in this set. I'm a big Thwomp guy. It's a 2 energy spell in action with repeat 2, stun an attacking unit. If I've said it in countless videos, if you play Rune Prison, you should just be playing Thwomp because it's double Rune Prison without the powered recycle. I really, really like it in any deck where you're trying to hold, and it's very good against these purple or red decks that kind of want to out aggro you. You set up a stronghold. They do their 1 turn where they kind of push into you. You just go thwonk, double stun, and then you survive another turn and you potentially win.
I think you're never playing Rune Prison again.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about Rune Prison is it's good on offense, but usually you use Rune Prison to stop a game push. So Thwonk is kind of just OP Rune Prison.
You're on 1/1 maybe, just for versatility in your deck. Next, we got Bellows Breath. 1 mana. With a repeat, you get to deal 1 damage to 3 units in the same area, but you get to do this twice. I think this card is so versatile because you get to, if you do it twice, it's 2 damage, but you can split it up. The second line of attacks doesn't even have to be in the same area. It doesn't have to be the same creature. So you can do 1/1 and then 2 on another minion and 1 on some other things. You can combo this with other kill spells Wages of Pain. You can have something for 2, maybe hit everything for 2. Kill a overzealous fan and hit their Draven for 2, and then hit the Draven for the rest of his life with the Wages of Pain. Just so versatile, being able to dish out the damage in very specific ways. That's why it's on here.
Downwell, an 8 energy, 2 power recycle cost. Return all units and gears to their owner's hand. Downwell is this real big spooky deck for decks that want to hold and decks that want to just set up a lot of gears, a lot of board presence. And it basically says, hey, there's going to be a reset button here and we need to rebuild as fast as possible. I like that it bounces everything back to both owners' hands. So there is a lot of parity there where you can't just only bounce your opponents and try to go for a game.
Crazy.
That would literally be nuts.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, Downwell would be absurd. But already as it is, it kind of checks these big, really oppressive decks. One of the best ways to fight a Resolve Dazzling Aurora with 7 monsters on field is just activate a Downwell and make them try to rebuild that board again.
I also think this is a great counter to Irelia because they can't Not So Fast. They can't deny this. They have to hard bargain it. So you're putting them down off 2 interactive counters. They have to have the one specific one. But if you hold up all 12 mana and you play Downwell, there's literally nothing they can do. You get to bounce their entire thing. This combos so well with the Rasta, which is making kind of an emergence as of late. You Downwell, play a Rasta, and you get first swing into the next fight. Coming up on, I think it's top number 4, we have Called Shot. Action repeat. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Draw 1, but you get to do it twice. So you get to look at 4 and draw 2.
Nuts. It's literally the linchpin of the Draven deck. Without it, and without Ezreal, it would not exist. Called Shot is just great because it's cheap, and a lot of times you can make use of not using that energy, and it's just a staple right now. Called Shot and Stack Deck just are the backbone of purple draw engines.
Stack Deck was already crazy enough, but then you put Called Shot on top of it. You get to pick your hand.
Next, we have Hard Bargain, a 2 energy spell with reaction and repeat 2. Counter spell unless its controller pays 2. I am such a huge Hard Bargain fan. Basically, Hard Bargain is in the same scope as Defy or even Punch First, where if there's 2 mana open, you always have to think, is my opponent going to Hard Bargain? And the coolest thing about Hard Bargain is you can catch your opponent with a little mana or a lot of mana, because just doubling the repeat cost, making your opponent pay an extra 2 mana, makes it to where they kind of have to fumble on their energy. So I'm a big fan of it. I love counter spells, and it makes purple even better.
For this card to be fair, it should have a power cost for sure. This being like 2 mana, no power cost is absolutely insane. This is my favorite card of the whole set.
This is my favorite art.
It is good. It is
I
good
love
art.
how derpy it looks.
It's funny. Switcheroo, you get to switch the might of 2 units out of the battlefield. 2 of yours, 2 of your opponents. It's just, you would think that Draven decks wouldn't want to play this because it's recycled too. But the topping deck list right now literally played Switcheroo, not cheating it out with the Teemo, just straight up playing it because this effect is wild. It's basically a kill spell.
And here is, in my opinion, the best spell of the set. Arguably the best card in this set is Punch First. 1 energy, 2 power, action, give a unit +5 this turn. It's giant growth on steroids. It's insane. It's a removal spell. It saves your creatures from time to time in battle. It's great in the orange color. It's awesome with challenge. It's awesome with just a lot of different effects. I think Punch First is so versatile because it's so cheap, and you just have to respect it whenever 1 mana is up.
I think this is what orange decks needed, because a lot of orange decks were just like, except Master Yi, because Master Yi had the combination of green to buff up stuff. A lot of these mid-range orange decks like Sed and Misfortune, they were missing like this big, powerful, impactful, cheap spell to buff themselves, which now they have, and it's broken. Moving on to units. Number 10, we have Fizz. When you play Fizz, you get to recycle a spell from your trash with 3 or less mana, and you get to play it for free, ignoring its cost. Fizz makes deck building very cool. You get to add 2 copies, 1 copy. Just having 1 of something and Fizz allows you to play the Fizz, and now you have 2 of those things. So Fizz is the 2nd and 3rd copy of every spell in your entire deck. It makes your choices in every game very unique from game to game. Sometimes you need 2 of something, and that Fizz will be that for you. You need an extra Ride the Wind, you play Ride the Wind, you're like, man, I only run 2 Ride the Winds, and I didn't draw the 2nd. I got a Fizz, though. Fizz is Ride the Wind. I love them.
And next we have Fiora Worthy. It is a 3 energy, 3 might. When a unit becomes mighty, you may pay 1 order rune to ready it. I love this card. I'm a huge fan of yellow, and one of my favorite things about yellow is a lot of the awesome equipment that we get. And with conjunction of that yellow equipment plus Fiora, you have basically a lot of accelerated units without having to play the accelerated units you would normally have to play. So they're a lot of times overstated and very powerful. So I'm a huge Fiora fan. I really, really am an enjoyer of cards without any power. So just being able to play more cards next turn because you didn't de-ramp yourself is also just a plus with a deck that wants to play so many cards that have recycle costs.
That's like the reason we put this above Fizz, because Fizz has the power. Even though Fizz's ability is so crazy, it's just no power makes you tempo out so nice. We got Draven. The first time you win a combat each turn, you score 1 point. This is not conquering. This is not holding. It is winning a combat. You could defend, and you could win a point. And he also has deflect on top of that. The downside is when he dies, your opponents get to get a point. But if he's in your deck, you're definitely teching your deck out, so he doesn't die. And when he gets free points, you're going to win the game. If he gets 1 extra point, you're probably going
It's already too much, in all honesty. And then next we have Stellar Corn Herder, the linchpin of the Irelia deck. And I think it's going to be a draw engine for green decks pretty much for as long as Spiritforged is in the meta. Being able to move whenever it draws a card is just a plain, simple card advantage. You want to be moving cards in Riftbound. That is a natural mechanic of the game, so you're just rewarded for moving it around. And you don't even need to conquer. You can just keep going, whoosh, 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 switching around and just drawing your cards. Huge fan of this card, and I can't wait to equip it with a bunch of stuff.
Its stats aren't that bad. 4-3 for a crazy effect is really fair. Like, this should be like a 4-2 or a 4-1, in all honesty. A 4-3, taking 1 point of power off, like, the normal stat line for this crazy effect, that's why it's good. 6 mana, we have Ferocious Forerunner, Death Knell, play 2 3 power mech tokens in your base. Every red deck, forever, will play this card. It is 12 might worth of stats. It is protection. You push your Kaisa in. Instead of dropping like a 2-drop in there and pulling Kaisa out on the following turn, you drop the Forerunner, pull Kaisa out. They kill the Forerunner, you get the might of the Forerunner back in your base. And then you have your Kaisa and your 2 Forerunners to do whatever you want with. It just is so safe. It helps you hold very successfully because when it dies, you're not losing out on too much. You get the stats back.
The next card is going to be Draven Vanquisher. 4 energy, 4 might. When I win a combat, play a Gold Gear token exhausted. When I attack or defend, you may pay 1 Fury rune. If you do, give me 2 might this turn. I think this is a near staple in almost every red creature deck, in all honesty. It is a 4 energy unit that is 6 might, basically the entire time. And it circumvents its downside by getting a Gold Gear token. It facilitates itself. It's just a solid card that kind of just stat checks every card that's in Riftbound right now. So I think it's a solid choice. And even if it's not in a Draven deck, I say try putting it in. It's a solid unit just to play on curve.
Looking at this card, I actually think it has 2 lines of text. If one of those lines of text was deleted, they could have made 2 separate cards that were good. Like,
yeah,
they're both good. It's like 2 minions that are separately good fused into one really broken minion.
He even says in his text, man, I'm good. He knows.
He knows. 2 mana, 2 might. Overzealous Fan. This is I think one of the best 2-drops in the game, or the best 2-drop in the game. When he defends, you can kill him and move an attacking unit to its base. So he is a fight or flight on a stick. But what's broken about him is early game, you get to play him, move him in order to conquer, and his stats are up to par. It's a 2-might unit. It can fight all the other 2-might units. But later in the game, when your opponent's pushing in with 1 or 2 big guys, and you got that fan there, you just get to push back for no reason.
And then next we have Auction Mischievous, a 4 energy, 4 might. Weapon Master. You may pay 2 additional body runes as additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you paid additional cost, move an enemy gear to your base. You control it, and until I leave the board, if it's an equipment, attach it to me. So, if you know anything about me and Michael, we like cards that are just 4 energy, no power, that has any type of upside. And the problem with Auction is it's all upside. It being a weapon master in a great color that has a lot of weapons, it's a solid threat in itself. And having an auto win ability of just stealing a gear is insane. It doesn't even need to steal crazy units. Just stealing, stats off your opponent's board, it turns Auction into a battle trick. But more importantly, against stuff like Irelia, stealing a Guardian Angel could potentially ruin their plans for the rest of the game, because what often happens is they're banking on protecting the president. You have one turn where you steal the Guardian Angel, and it's donezo. They might not have a monster for the rest of the game. And don't get me started on Draven. Stealing something like a Last Right, that's crazy. Big fan.
Number 2, we have Ezreal Prodigy. When you play me, discard 1 card, draw 2. Optional additional costs have 1 less mana or 1 less power. When we did our card reviews, I said that this card's crazy even without that optional effect. I think the discard 1, draw 2 is what makes him good, and you can play him in any purple deck, and that's what a lot of people are doing. You have a bunch of 1-ofs in your deck for tech. Discard it, draw 2. He is good on rate. He has 3 might and helps you dig deeper into your deck. Sometimes the optional additional costs do come in if you have a Watcher with Accelerate, or if you have something with a repeat in your deck, like Call Shot, you just get random value for no reason when his effect is good enough. Number 1 is
Irelia Fervent. It's a 5 energy, 4 might unit, deflect. When you choose or ready me, give me a +1 might this turn. Me and Michael had a lot of arguments. What do we think is like the best unit? I personally said Ezreal was because I like build around me cards, but then Michael convinced me a little bit because if I like build around me cards, Irelia is the ultimate build around me card. Just having the
her deck doesn't work without her.
It really doesn't work without her. It is a non-deck without it. Being able to untap Irelia, becoming this insane threat of being like a 7 might unit, 10 might unit, 12. I've seen it go up to 19 during certain turns, ganking over to each other battlefield. This card is literally the linchpin, the reason why the Irelia deck works. So we would have to say this is the number 1 monster.
Going on to gear. In the first lower spots, we have these gears that aren't meta right now, but we think that in the future with the right deck, they could be. Spellsonger is definitely a wild ability that when you attach it to a unit, this ability of Spellsonger becomes the ability of that unit. So you get to double up on any unit ability that is crazy from any card game. All card game players know that multipliers on effects go hard. So eventually, this is going to be like someone's most hated card.
Shout out to Balatro. All right, and next we have Vanguard Armory. It is my favorite yellow card in this set. It is a 7 energy, 1 power, and it is a gear. Play 3, 1 might recruit unit tokens, and you can play them at different locations. I love this card. One of my favorite things to do in like any game is play like a set it and forget it game, where you play 1 card and for the rest of the game it kind of carries you to victory. And Vanguard Armory is that card. Up front, if you only think about it, 3 tokens, it's not that much value. But every single turn, you're getting 3 mana back, basically. Every single turn. So after a span of maybe 4 turns, you got 12 mana for 7 mana. At that point, it might become too insurmountable with the amount of cheating you've done.
Well, it feels kind of bad if your opponent has Auction
on it, yeah.
Huh?
Okay, so here's the cool thing, right? So what often happens is Auction will steal the Vanguard Armory, and then the way to circumvent that is you just have a Singularity in your hand, because the Vanguard Armory will be what is it called, tapped already, so they can't make use of it. So then if you Singularity kill the Auction, you get the Vanguard Armory back. You lose the turn of 3 tokens, but it's not that bad because, it would literally be murder if they got to use Vanguard Armory immediately. But you have that one chance of killing it.
Yeah. BF Sword, this is such a basic equipment, but it's kind of the basic equipment that like sets the line for all good equipments. BF Sword having +3 might is 1 extra might on all its other contemporaries. We didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it is a giant deal. Making 2 drops with 2 might mighty, making that 1 extra might to win a fight. BF Sword, just having the constant 3 might bonus to every creature you play, makes it a essential card for any yellow weapon deck.
Next we have Trinity Force, a 4 energy gear. Equip 1 body room. When I hold, score 1 point, and it gives +2 might. I think Trinity Force is just an all-star card in any deck that kind of wants to hold. One of my favorite things is Trinity Force plus Rune Runner. It is literally a 7 might unit that you can't target it, and it gains 2 points every turn. It's a crazy card and stuff like Master Yi, and I just think it is OP.
3 mana, Edge of Night, hidden. If you flip it, you get to attach it to a unit, so it circumvents the equip cost, and it just gives 2 might. It's just a battle trick where for 1 might, you're going to attach it anyway for 1 might. So if you put it down as a 3 cost and attach it for 1 might, might as well just pop it down as a hidden for 1 power, and then it will just attach onto the unit for free. Just a +2 battle trick, and throughout the entire game, you get to keep on using that 2 might.
And next we have Longsword. It's a 2 energy, 1 power to recycle. It has quick draw, so it has reaction speed. I equip 1 Fury rune, and it gives +2. It's a simple card. Quick draw, I think, is one of the most overpowered mechanics we have in Spiritforged because it breaks the game. It basically turns a weapon into a battle trick, and that's crazy because a lot of times your opponent would not be able to expect it. And it's a renewable resource over and over and over again. Just being able to attach 2 to it, it's just a solid card.
And it's pretty unique because not a lot of cards have quick draw. Next, we have Last Right. Equip, recycle 2 from your trash, and when you conquer or hold, you get to, like us, you get to play a card from your trash. You still have to pay for it. Initially, when I saw this card, I'm going to take my words back. I didn't think it was that good because I thought it was too difficult. I did not think of the potential with Rasta and getting the overzealous fan back every single turn. That is so annoying. It is so crazy. But it did, like, I kind of thought about it. Well, we did need the one deck to abuse it. And Draven is the deck to abuse it because you get so much card draw and you can churn out cards. But it's crazy.
And next we have Heart of Dark Ice. It's a 3 energy, 1 power to recycle it. And it's give a unit +3 might this turn. So if I was a fan of Vanguard Armory, tapping it to get value every single turn, why wouldn't I be a fan of Heart of Dark Ice? I think it's a sleeper card in Irelia, having a renewable card that you get to continually untap your Irelia for free. What often happens with Irelia is you kind of use her to have a big turn where she moves around a lot, and sometimes you run out of cards. But having Heart of Dark Ice as a card that just every turn you're able to untap her makes it to where it deserves a spot, at least in my mind, in the Irelia deck.
Number 2, Boots of Swiftness. Pretty simple. 3 mana, attach it, and you get ganking and +2. It's everything Irelia wants. She gets to move around more freely. It's an attach. It's targeting. It's a buff. Can't say it's simple, but crazy.
Ganking and Accelerate are broken, and that's going to just be a thing forever.
And number 1
is Guardian Angels. It's a 2 energy gear equipment, and it has 1 equip Calm Room, and it gives the unit, if I would die, kill a Guardian Angel instead, heal me, exhaust me, recall me, and it gives it +1. So I think me and Michael both think Guardian Angel is the best card in this set. It's basically Zonia's Hourglass, but it has more agency. You're able to protect the monster that you want to protect. There's no little funny game business about, I have to put this guy back, I have to do this. Guardian Angel protects it, and it gives and the +1 buff is just enough to where the protection effect is just kind of an extra.
Sometimes the 1 buff is nice. Sometimes it like pushes you over the top in some trades, where it's like, now I win by 1 because randomly Guardian's Angel.
Yeah, so I think this card is the linchpin of Irelia, but it's going to be basically in every calm deck coming up. If your deck is kind of monster reliant, it's really just good at protecting your monsters. And right now in Riftbound, the way you win is summoning monsters.
And that is it. We said we both agree that Guardian's Angel is number 1. I think my number 2 is probably Punch First, and then number 3 for me is Switcheroo. What about you?
For spells or just in general?
In general. I think it's GA, Punch First, Switcheroo for me.
I think it's going to be GA, and then Ezreal, and then Punch First. But you can argue that Punch First and Ezreal can be switched. It's just that I think at the end of the format, there's going to be a lot more Ezreal decks. Like right now, there's a lot of Ezreal decks, but I think that guy's the future. He's too debonair for us. He's literally just gonna be an ever-present looming threat in the meta for Spiritforged.
In the comments below, let us know what are your top 3. Look at all Spiritforged cards and let us know what you think. Bye.